Yo, what is going on, Senpai Squad? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we've got the review for episode 64 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. Now, first thing I want to start this review off with is the fact that the opening that we saw last week did indeed have a mistake in it. It's 100% confirmed now. If you guys did not know, last week's episode had a little bit of a fishy looking scene. Not even a scene, it was like one frame where a character we've never ever seen before in the Naruto universe just popped up for literally point of a second. I pretty much straight away thought it was a mistake. It seemed like it wasn't a Boruto character design or anything like that. But now that we've seen in this week's episode, it didn't show up again. That 100% was a mistake. I just want to say this because I saw a lot of people saying, oh, it's foreshadowing a future character. Is it Kawaki? All of this type of deal. But no confirmation now. It wasn't meant to be in there. I don't know if it was an animation problem or a Crunchyroll problem, something like that. But yeah, 100% that is a mistake. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's jump into the episode. The episode started off straight away with us seeing Mitsuki wake up, because obviously last time we saw Mitsuki got absolutely bodied by Urashiki when he stole his Sage Chakra. But it was really nice to see Mitsuki wake up, and the first thing he thinks about is Boruto, because it kind of goes more into his relationship with Boruto, because we know he's absolutely just obsessed with the kid at this point. It was also nice to see some interactions between Mitsuki and Sarada, because I don't think there's been many times where Mitsuki and Sarada have actually had kind of a one-to-one interaction between just those two. So it was really great to see those two actually grow their bond together, because with them being on the same team, usually Boruto's always there, and it's usually Mitsuki interacting with Boruto or Sarada interacting with Boruto. We've not had, at least in my opinion, if I'm not mistaken, many situations where it's just been Mitsuki and Sarada. And I know there's tons of Mitsuki Sarada shippers out there, so I'm sure they loved that part of the episode as well. Another thing I want to talk about with Mitsuki, which I'll probably get onto more towards the end of the video when I'm talking about the new ending, which is heavily focused on Mitsuki. But what I think all this focus on Mitsuki towards this little bit of an end of the arc type deal, I feel like whatever happens after the movie, I feel as if we're going to get a bit of more. A shit at me, my Kakashi just fell. I thought something came through the wall. I thought something came past. Anyway, I'll get more into the Mitsuki stuff towards the end of the review and talk about the ending. That scared the literal shit. That scared the life out of me. That did. Jesus. Anyway, after seeing Mitsuki and Sarada interacting, we then got to go and see Naruto's situation with Momoshiki. And it was a really great scene. It was more or less the same as we saw in the movie, where Naruto's getting his Nine Tails chakra extracted by Momoshiki. However, this time we got an extended version, and it was an incredibly well done extension. Basically, we got to see Naruto kind of reflecting on all of his poor past decisions with Boruto. We get to see him realizing that, you know, the way I treated Boruto was completely wrong, and he kind of, you could see him regretting all of it, and he was saying to Momoshiki, I've got to get this over and done with soon. I need to beat you guys so I can go back home to him. So it was great to see Naruto realizing the mistakes he's made with Boruto over the time. The one problem I've got with it, I think, is the flashbacks. There was like 5 minutes worth of flashbacks where basically we got to see earlier points in the story where Naruto was not neglecting Boruto, but I think you kind of get what I mean. Like, not looking at him the way he should be type deal, where he wasn't trusting him or he didn't believe him. All of those type deals, treating him like a kid. I understand the flashbacks were needed. I had no problem with that. I'm not usually a massive hater on flashbacks. I mean, with it being Naruto, it's kind of expected. My only problem with these flashbacks was that I don't like flashbacks where they just replay an entire kind of like little segment. You can just show us little bits. At the end of the day, it doesn't bother me a great deal. It's just this whole like flashbacky bit took up the majority of the first half of the episode. That's the only problem I had. Other than that, the flashbacks didn't bother me a great bit. If I'm going to do a review, I'll cover everything, and that was just my opinion. Anyway, once all the flashbacks are done, obviously then Sasuke, the Kage, and Boruto then finally turn up towards the second half of the episode, and we get to see Boruto and Naruto back together, and we get to see Naruto seeing Boruto wearing his outfit. Now, I might have missed this point in the episode, but we didn't get the line where Naruto says, "Oh, it's like I'm looking at my own shadow clone." I don't know if that was gone. Maybe it is, and that, like the whole headband saying, well, he's become a shinobi. I'm not sure if Sasuke was there. I think he was. I feel like right now I'm thinking about it, I'm getting the episode and the movie completely muddled up in my head right now, not knowing which bit was which. But if they weren't in there, that's a shame. But I do like what they did with it all, especially when Naruto was talking to Boruto about how he never goes back on his word, and then he said, "That's my ninja way." I've not heard him say that in so long. It was so good to hear him say his catchphrase again, and all the little flashbacks. And I know this is incredibly hypocritical of me saying this. I just said I didn't like the flashbacks, and now I'm orgasming over these flashbacks. But these flashbacks were a bit different. They were just still frames. They were on the screen for no longer than a second or two. But we got to see a flashback of Naruto versus Kabuto. I think it was the first Naruto versus Sasuke fight. Naruto in the Genjutsu with Itachi. That was a great one. It was so good to see Itachi in the series, albeit in a flashback. And then the last one we got to see Obito, and it was great to see all these great moments from the OG Naruto and the Shippuden series. They are how I prefer my flashbacks, when they're sudden, quick, and come at you, because I feel like when they're quick and sudden, they have more of an emotional impact on me. That's just my opinion. So those flashbacks, and I think everybody agrees on me with this, the fact that those flashbacks were just phenomenal. We've been getting a couple of those in this arc. I think towards the start of the arc we also got a flashback of Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Team 7 fighting Kaguya. So more of the OG flashbacks, the better. Thank you. So we also then got to see what was going on in the village, with Shikamaru kind of watching over everything. He was telling all the Jonin that there's another one with them, but he seems to be in hiding and he's escaped. Now, I want you guys to keep a lockdown on the village, keep an eye out for him. And this might be foreshadowing Urashiki attacking the village. However, part of me is also kind of saying, well, this arc is not going to last for much longer. A couple of episodes max. The other thing is, why would Urashiki come back to the village? I don't know why he would. I'm not saying he won't. He could do. I think a lot of us all know that Urashiki likely has his own alternate motives. But whether or not those motives would bring him back to the village right now, I'm not too sure. So part of me is kind of saying, yeah, I think Urashiki might come back to the village and then he'll die. But so many things which are also making me think that won't happen, such as, this is a tiny little manga spoiler, like just a tiny little one. If Urashiki does come to the village and someone kills him, then how is that going to incorporate into the story? Because obviously if you kill an Otsutsuki member, you obviously get the god's gift, which I'm not going to completely spoil it. But so I don't see, if Urashiki was to come back to the leaf, how he would die. If he was going to die at any point, I think it would be via being absorbed by Momoshiki, just like Kinshiki. But the fact that that's not being seen, I know the arc's not over, but I think Urashiki is now going to live past this arc. I was pretty sure he would in the first place, but now that we've gotten past this episode, I'm 90% sure that he will live past this arc. I apologise for Twitter. After all this, we then go back to the start of the fight. Naruto joins up the battle, and we actually get to see Naruto go to use his Shadow Clone Jutsu, which obviously he did in the movie. But in the movie, Sasuke is the one that told Naruto no because he absorbs ninjutsu, whereas in the anime, Boruto's the one that told Naruto this, which was quite an interesting change. And although it may seem like a small change, it's actually a huge one, because that goes to show how much Boruto's actually grown and developed and matured compared to Naruto. Young Naruto, if you think back at him, he wasn't very level-headed when it comes to fighting, whereas we see that Boruto's picked up, bang, straight away on the fact that Momoshiki will absorb his ninjutsu. We'll see the flashback of when Boruto realised this when he was firing his ninja tech at them. Boruto said to Naruto, no, he'll absorb the ninjutsu and then fire it back at you effortlessly, twice the power. So the fact that Boruto is the one actually telling Naruto the situation is a great one to see, especially as those two have not had the best of relationships 63 episodes before this, if you get what I mean. So seeing those two make up, Boruto show his level-headedness and his maturity in battle, for both of them, this episode did so much for their individual character arcs. Also in the fight, it was nice to see the 5 Kage in action. It really gave more to them, because I think a lot of us can agree that these current lineup of Kage, bar probably Naruto and Gaara, were not as attached to. They kind of just felt like they were made Kage because they were some of the only people from that village we really knew. Maybe that's just me, but seeing them in action was great. Also Chodoro, because I'm not a huge Chodoro fan. Also, where did he get his sword from? A couple of episodes ago, Urashiki saying, I saw you, you left your sword at the Mist Village. Now, I mean, I know we got it back a couple of episodes ago, but poof, he's now randomly got a sword back, but whatever. Seeing him talking about Kagura, who, again, isn't my favourite character, but seeing that they're building a bit more on the 5 Kage, albeit only a little bit, was something completely welcome, because it's starting to make me more attached to these Kage, and seeing them in battle makes me realise that, yeah, they are Kage level. They deserve to be Kage. Now then, this bit is something I've been looking forward to talking about. Basically, we get to see Kinshiki talking about his guardian and how, you know, how my guardian once did this to me. I don't know the exact wording that was used, but basically it's when Momoshiki saying to Kinshiki, it's time for me to absorb you, and Kinshiki saying, yes, I understand, just like how my guardian before me, like I did to my guardian before me, something along those lines. And so obviously he absorbs him and goes under a transformation, and boy am I glad they went with the manga design of Momoshiki, because there was a little rumour going around a few weeks ago that they weren't going to go for that design, and when I heard that design, I tell you what, I was absolutely gutted. But we got to see it in all of its glory. The manga design for transformed Momoshiki final form is one of, if not the best villain design in Naruto, full stop. But anyway, going back onto the whole guardian thing, obviously Kinshiki is Momoshiki's guardian, and Kinshiki then said that he had a guardian as well in the past, which he absorbed, it seemed. So I wonder if they'll touch more on this in the future, whether we get to see Kinshiki like an actual flashback of a younger Kinshiki and his guardian, and actually see him absorbing his guardian and see what his transformation looked like, something like that. I'm not too sure. The other thing is when Momoshiki saying, I'll show you how my clan does things, meaning that this whole absorbing your guardian thing isn't a rare occurrence. Whether or not all of certain rank of Otsutsuki members get their own guardian, which their guardian is completely loyal to them, and they will at some point like devour them and absorb them under whatever circumstances, I don't know. But where I'm going with this is, I wonder now, this might be a huge, I mean huge stretch, but I just want to put the idea out there in case anyone, you know, wants a little brain teaser. If, and it's looking likely now, that Urashiki survives past this arc, he'll be by himself. I wonder if he is going to become a bigger character than we initially thought in the series, by that being more quite a large background villain, reoccurring villain. I wonder if he will be given his own guardian. Personally, if he is going to be a big villain in Boruto, which I do kind of see happening, he's got that type of personality. He's a bit like Toby, how when Toby was first introduced, he was just brushed off as this clowny little guy, when a couple years later you find out he's the leader of the bloody Akatsuki. I get that same kind of vibe from Urashiki, so I'm wondering if Urashiki will get his own guardian, and maybe in a few years time we'll get to see Urashiki absorb his guardian and undergo a crazy transformation. Personally, I think that would be insane to see, but we're just going to have to wait and see. I want to know what you guys think of that in the comment section down below. The last thing I want to touch on is the ending. We got a brand new ending. Unfortunately, it wasn't as good as ending 5, but let's be real, did we think it would be? No, we didn't. Nothing is going to top that ending for quite a long while, but saying that, it was still an absolutely fantastic ending, and it focused heavily on Mitsuki. We got to see a lot of Mitsuki's struggles during this ending, and we also get to see Boruto fighting some kind of a group of like silhouetted bandits, or like a group of bad guys. I think that's foreshadowing the manga arc, the is it the Majina Bandits, something like that. I don't really remember a great deal from that arc, but it's the first major arc of the Boruto manga after the movie arc, so foreshadowing that. I think we'll be getting that after a small arc of probably Boruto being punished, and then it seems like we might get some little bit of Mitsuki, I don't know what the word is, Mitsuki greatness, simply put. I think that's my opinion. Good to know that we get to see a little bit of an inclination as to what we're getting after this arc, which is probably going to be ending not next week, because there's not a Boruto episode next week. If you didn't see my video on that, it's been delayed another week, so no episode 65 next week, will be the week after. So with this arc wrapping up in probably the next episode or two, seeing some Mitsuki stuff and what's coming next, it's going to be great. Also guys, one thing I forgot to touch on was Momoshiki reading Boruto's future with his Byakugan. Now, if you're a manga reader, that bit would have got you hyped, because if you're an anime only, you're going to understand what Momoshiki means by this in the next episode or two. I just wanted to talk about this point really quickly because I initially forgot about it. But all you manga readers out there, that little bit, that sentence from Momoshiki would have got you hyped. The bit where he's saying, he looks at Boruto's Byakugan and he's saying how, you know, he's going to have and I'm going to paraphrase here, something like a rough future ahead of you, something like that. Obviously, manga readers, that would have got you hyped. But I just wanted to touch on that. Any of you anime onlys, that little sentence right there is going to be a hell of a lot bigger than you initially thought. Anyway guys, thank you for watching the video. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. I want you guys to talk about the episode. Let's have a little conversation going in the comment section down below. And subscribe if you're not already to become a member of the Senpai Squad. And I'll see you guys in another video. But until then, peace.